Hello, everyone, and welcome to watch ninth episode of Men's Guide to Happiness. And the reason, like I said in previous episodes, why we're doing this guide is to have more happy men in the world. And for today's shows, I have invited Brian. Hi, Brian.
Hey, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. Where are you joining us from?
I'm in Oxford, Michigan, so I'm about 45 minutes north of Detroit.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Okay. And I read all the things that you've done in your life. So you led a really amazing life. But tell us a few sentences about yourself first.
Well, first, I'm a Marine. I spent 4 years in the Marine Corps, and that's kind of what set me on my path in my early adulthood. And then I fell in love with personal training and fitness, and I've been a personal trainer since I started training people in about 1996, so close to 27 years or so. And that's allowed me to do a lot of things that I really enjoy. I spent some time as a professional wrestler. Spent 14 years traveling as a circus performer, I guess you could say, doing feats of strength at schools, talking to kids about the power of positive choice. Bending steel bars in my teeth, breaking baseball bats over my leg, tearing phone books in half. That, if your audience know what phone books are, that they've kind of gone by the wayside. Um, if you know what a phone book is, you might be older. Not calling anyone old, but you may be on the older side. So we did a lot of those feats of strength to demonstrate our message. That was one of the best times of my life doing that. And then I've competed in strongman competitions since 2000. I got one coming up in November. Bodybuilding, I'm a bodybuilding champion. I've competed in CrossFit. I've owned multiple gyms. I currently only own one, but it's a hybrid gym of CrossFit and 24-hour gym. I do train a lot of strongmen and powerlifters out of there. And so, yeah, I have a very diverse life, done a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And can you say that this is actually what makes your life happy?
100%. I think it's critical for men to compete against themselves and against others as part of their happiness. Men have to accomplish goals. We have to we have to live. I hate to because it's so. I hate using the word alpha because it's so overused and has
Yes.
such a negative cognitivity to it. But we have to live that life where we're trying to be the best at stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes men happy, is that drive. Goal setting. When we set a goal and we accomplish it, that's where we get inner joy. Hey, I'm going to buy an apartment complex. I do own a couple apartment buildings. My goal for 2024, one of my big goals is to buy a 30 unit plus apartment complex.
Mm-hmm.
So when I accomplish that, I know I'm going to get, a lot of satisfaction out of that because it's a goal that I've set. I had to map out. I had to strategize for it. And I feel that really helps for men, is to have those goals that they set and work on.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I think it's the same for women as well. Now, and it's more acceptable for women. Like before, it wasn't acceptable for a woman to have all that type of goals and everything. I see in the history, and now when it is, now it's better.
Yeah, definitely. The atmosphere has really changed for men or for me, for women.
Mm-hmm.
There's like my ex-wife. She is the number 2 Olympic weightlifter in the country. She's amazing, badass at how much she can lift, and
Mm-hmm.
and she finds a lot of joy. She started off as a gymnast and found her joy in going out and doing gymnastics when she was a kid, and then in her adult years she stopped doing gymnastics, and she was missing that competitive component in her life. And now she does Olympic weightlifting, and she just absolutely kills it, and she gets so much happiness from that, from getting those big lifts and setting those goals and the training and all that accomplished that leads up to it. Ultimately, I mean, I guess you could really say for happiness is overcoming adversity. That those bad points in your life or those weak points, working your way out of that is where you find happiness. When you get to the top of a mountain, you're no longer in a valley of despair, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And I think one thing that now when you mentioned how you're supporting your wife with everything, Brad, for her goals, I think that's one of the challenges right now that men having to support women to try to be more as well. You know, they stuck in those old roles that the man has to do everything, but now letting the woman do the things as well. Some
Right.
of the men, not everybody, but like, have you noticed it? For some men have resistance that women are also can also be strong or weak, whatever they want.
Yeah, there's definitely some resistance there. Being a personal trainer and group fitness coach with CrossFit, I see the women that when they come into the gym, they have very low self esteem, and as they start to build and learn how to exercise, and they start hitting
Hmm.
weights, and they start building muscle, and their self esteem rises exponentially, and unfortunately, that sometimes causes a lot of strife in their relationships or their marriages because their spouse doesn't like them being uh, having a higher self esteem and um, being happier. I guess really it's crazy.
Hmm.
You think it's such a positive thing, but sometimes it definitely turns into a negative with a lot of people in our culture.
Hmm. Yeah, it is the positive thing, but it has the same way with the alpha thing. It has the stigma to it that everybody should be in one way, which alpha is actually I consider it's a good thing. You
Yes,
know,
it's
like you
what,
said, there's this. Yeah, what do you
yeah,
start saying?
yeah. Well, there's alpha is inherently good as long as we don't have that toxic element to it. Then that's where everybody lumps it in as, oh, if you're an alpha male, then you're automatically toxic, which that's not the case. I
Mm-hmm.
consider myself an alpha male, and I don't feel that I'm toxic. I raise people up, and I get joy out of making people better. That's why I love being a coach, is to make the best out of everybody around me,
Mm-hmm.
because sinking ships or rising tide rises all ships, right? So when I make my community better, where I live better, healthier, it raises everybody up. It makes a whole community better, and that's what a
Mm-hmm.
true I think alpha male would is supposed to do, is raise everybody up, make everybody around them better. It's when they
Mm-hmm.
become the toxic part is where they when they try and hold everybody down, or they look down at you for being
Mm-hmm.
below them. And that's the distinct difference, I think, between a real alpha man and then the toxic masculinity you see.
Mm-hmm. I think that for me, the real alpha meaning is same way like you were saying. It's somebody who leads, not that somebody just like, oh, I'm a single like one
Right.
person who's good at everything.
Right.
The way I see alpha is somebody who leads other people to greatness as well. They just
Yes.
not, oh, only I can be great and only I am great, but that's a person who leads everybody to be great, like you
Yep.
were just saying.
100%.
Definitely. Okay. So, in your gym, when you have men there, do men generally even think or talk about happiness?
No, I don't think the topic of happiness really is ever on a man's mind. We just find that I think we just find our happiness. We just kind of instinctively know, or we're going to chase what makes us happy. For me, getting a new weightlifting PR, like when I deadlift something for the first time, it's like, yes, that brings me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not long term happiness, but it makes me happy for that day. It's every day little accomplishments in my workouts and stuff like that. That's what makes me happy. If I have a bad workout, it makes me mad. But no, in general, I don't think men
No.
really think about their own happiness. We're generally more concerned with the happiness of those around us, and that we want,
Mm.
and then their happiness helps raise us up. And if we hang out with a bunch of negative Nancy's, then we're gonna be negative. But when you surround yourself with people that are generally already happy, the happiness helps come because they're pushing you to be a better person. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where we get it from.
Mm-hmm. And I don't doubt what I'm teaching as well is like happiness is like those little daily things. You had a
Hmm.
happy day, that makes you a happy person, or like, but you also have all those other emotions too. They have their point. Like, oh, you have to have all those other,
Yeah,
all the emotions,
yeah,
you
100%.
know?
You can't have happiness without disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're just 100% happy all the time, we're either lying to ourselves or we don't truly know what happiness is. We're just living a
Yeah.
mundane life. If you have no ebb and flow, no up and down, no high points, no low points, you don't truly know what happiness is. You have to have
Mm-hmm.
those lows. You have to, hit the rock bottom at some point and build yourself out of that to really
Mm-hmm.
find true happiness and appreciation for life. And that's another way, I think happiness comes in is appreciating the life you have and the things around you and the people in that life. I said at the beginning, I'm very blessed to have lived the life I have. I am thankful for everything. I started off before I went to the Marines. Marines was my drug rehab. I started off as a drug addict.
Okay.
I lived in a drug house in Pontiac, and I grew up in government subsidized housing, dirt poor. And so I've been at the bottom. And then when I went to the Marine Corps, the first 3 weeks of Marine Corps was the first time in 5 years that I had spent sober. And that was like I was like being high again because I had never experienced that. But that
Mm-hmm.
fitness, running for the first time, doing pull-ups and push-ups and all this stuff, all those endorphins, like, oh, this is what I've been seeking.
Mm-hmm.
And that led me to where I am now with all the fitness and competition and strength training I've done over the years. It all started with that learning that those endorphins were what I needed for my happiness and helped me progress through life.
Mm-hmm. And that's the way I see as well. The happiness is, I would say, the excitement that you're getting from doing the things that you like. That's the same feeling that creates happiness.
Yes, definitely.
So maybe some of the men, they, instead of happiness, they feel the excitement, which is the same kind, like happiness, excitement. It's the similar thing.
Yeah, I'd say happiness is a bunch of excitable moments together because
Mm-hmm.
we get excited, but excitement doesn't truly bring happiness. But when you compound a bunch of excitable moments together, then we have sustained happiness.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, I wanted to talk about the name of your business as well,
Okay.
building your temple,
Yes.
because when you, well, I'd like to talk about it more specifically, but I see if you have that good, positive temple, that is living a happy life.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's building a temple it's based on 1 Corinthians 6:19. Or do we not know that we are a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in us? Um, and we physically we have to manifest. We have to be physically strong. There's so much. So a man when he hits 30% body fat, that's considered obese, way out of shape. He has a
Mm-hmm.
dramatic drop in testosterone. There are so many studies that show decreased testosterone for men leads to massive depression. They've found better results with men that are depressed just by giving them a shot of testosterone
Mm-hmm.
than any of the current prescription drugs for depression.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've also found that you take a depressed man and you get him exercising regularly, gets his
Mm-hmm.
body fat below 30%, they have an immense amount of happiness or depression relief
Mm-hmm.
that they get by exercising. And so, for men, so the men and women, of course, too, but we're talking mostly
Oh
men.
man.
I'm not trying to, point, just say this is just for men. This is, but this is a show for men happiness. Um, that when a man, oh, no, I totally lost track where I was going. But the main thing is men. have to have higher testosterone levels for is directly related to how happy they are. And as their testosterone drops, as they become unhealthy and as they age, they tend to sink more into depression. And that's one reason why you're seeing elevated suicides of older men is because they're in these cycles of depression because their testosterone and the stuff that makes them a man is degrading over time. And so when you get a man below 30% body fat, that natural testosterone level increases. And when you have that increase, their mood increases and elevates, and their body works how it's supposed to work. Men are meant to work. We are meant to labor. And when we don't labor, when we sit, there's so many desk jobs or engineers and stuff like that. They
Mm-hmm.
they sit at a desk all day, and they're not moving. They're not physically active. Men aren't supposed to sit and do that. Men are
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be out in the fields killing animals and building houses, and so if you're at a desk job, there's nothing wrong with it. Make a great living, be a desk job, but you have to have something that creates that
Mm-hmm.
diversity in your life that allows for you to, one, be healthy, and two, to naturally elevate your testosterone levels. And you get that if you don't work in the trades, or you're not a hunter, or you get that by going to the gym and having hard workouts. So that's one reason why I'm such a strong proponent for CrossFit, because CrossFit challenges you every day. Every time you come in, it's challenging your body. It's the hardest hour of your day. But that's what our bodies need. The human body craves that work. And when we have that,
Mm-hmm.
that's when we have happiness after that. Because we
Mm-hmm.
have to, our body has to work.
Mm-hmm. And exactly what you were saying, when the body doesn't get the movement, then it gets sad.
Yes, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Needs to have it. And when you said the gym and everything, that's extra, but at least have to have some kind of workout, some kind of movement, even if it's just to walk. But you can add extra by a stronger workout.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
So,
well, I mean, it's the evidence is clear with even with women on just the benefits of
mm-hmm.
resistance training. If women that are premenopausal, if they don't start lifting weights, they have 80% a higher chance of getting osteoporosis and after menopause because of their bones decalcifying. So just by adding resistance training, it can cure any osteoporosis that they may have had. And so we have to work. Our bodies are meant to work, and in our current society, we're not working as hard as we're supposed to, and then that creates. I think that's where a lot of our depression comes from, in both
Mm-hmm.
both sexes.
Yeah. And the foods that are right now, food that is available,
Most of
the
what people
food
eat is
is,
not food.
yeah, exactly. I'm the
Yeah,
same way. I'm with you in the same way.
yeah,
Most
you
of the
know,
things you go in the store, it's not food.
no, it's not. I just blows my mind. Like I was just in Costa Rica 2 weeks ago on a vacation, and they haven't been had all of the crap foods that we have sent there yet. And
Mm-hmm.
everybody is so healthy looking and fit, and
Mm-hmm.
they just live their lives and they eat whole foods. They eat fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and meat. But they're not eating Fruit Loops for breakfast every day. They're not eating Pop Tarts for a snack. They're not, all this crap that we have in these boxes is so uh is full of so much garbage and inflammation and hormone
Mm-hmm.
depressant that how I don't know how anybody with a diet like that could be happy, because you feel like
Mm-hmm.
garbage. If I go off my diet for a week and say I go up north and I don't plan food or whatever, and I have to eat out every day and eat box foods, I literally feel like absolute garbage after that
Mm-hmm.
week and can't wait to get back to my meal plan. And I buy a cow straight from the farmer. I
Mm-hmm.
eat organic vegetables. I eat a little bit of rice, and eggs. And that's pretty much my diet every day. I eat the same thing over and over again, but
Mm-hmm.
but my body appreciates that,
Mm-hmm.
and it helps with my workout. But if I wasn't as disciplined on my diet, I wouldn't be able to deadlift 750 pounds. But that's where I'm at. and my body appreciates, I give it the right fuel, it gives me the output by eating
Hmm.
real food.
Yeah, exactly. And I like how in those other countries, and when I was growing up, I'm originally from Estonia. I've been living in America, United States for 19 years now, but I grew up with the food, and the food was not called organic because it was just naturally organic. It was
Right,
just naturally right, real food.
right,
Nobody had to call it real food because it was real food. You
right.
know,
Yeah,
I like
yep.
it. And one thing we were saying that the food they're selling here is most of it is in the stores is garbage. And the way I when I eat and what I teach to my daughter is like my what they sell is garbage, and my body is not a garbage can.
No, it's not. It's a temple.
So yeah.
We have to
So
treat
there's
it
no
as such.
reason for me to eat that food because my body is not a garbage can. I don't want to put garbage in there.
Right. Perfect. That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think that those are for happiness. Those two things are really important. The working out, physical working out, and what you're eating.
Yes.
That's really part of the happiness in your life as well, because that's a physical happiness that our body needs.
Yes. 100%. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We got to fuel it properly, and we have to actually train it and work through adversity. You have to lift, you have to work out hard in order to stimulate the bones to get thicker so you don't have osteoporosis, to create that fat loss, and to make the muscle stronger and more resilient to injury. One of the great things, one of my clients recently, just she had emergency diverticulitis.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the bowel gets inflamed and almost exploded on her. But because she
Oh.
was so fit, they went in, did the surgery, and a month later she was back working out again because
Mm-hmm.
she was already at this high level of fitness. And the doctors are all shocked. They're like, how are you healing this quick? As well, because I eat right, I train regularly, and my body is made for this. Most of the doctors said most people, her level of injury would have taken them 3 to 6 months before they could even step foot in a gym again.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they
Mm-hmm.
ever stepped foot in the gym prior,
Mm-hmm.
because they were living unhealthy lives to begin with. But that's the power of exercise, is how fast and resilient our bodies are. And when we have those endorphins and hormones optimized, again, that leads to the happiness, and injury is not so relevant. It's just like, okay, just another day.
Mm-hmm. I think, Brian, what they're doing wrong as well with after surgery, they just put the people, and some moments it's okay, but they still have to think more. But right now, they just load them up with drugs
Yeah.
after the surgery and don't have any diet or exercise plan in order, just drugs.
Yeah.
Like
That's
here, take all those painkillers and then wait, and your body is not going to heal with the painkillers. It
no,
just
it's not.
hides what it actually needs to be doing after the surgery, which is recovery.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And that's another problem with, we have our food industry and we have our drug industry. Both of those are counterintuitive to healthy living in
Mhm.
America, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, let's move to the mental part of happiness now.
Okay.
So, you usually do all the workouts. So you mostly physical. That's what it seems from outside. But probably from inside, you do a lot of mental work as well.
Yeah, definitely try. Again, I believe that, like, goal setting and accomplishing things for men is huge. Um, like victories at work, when uh, I'll set a goal and, like, to buy an apartment complex for
Mm-hmm.
the next year. Now I have to start actually reaching out to apartment complexes and seeing, finding one that's for sale, find one that I can, after I get one for sale, I have to run the numbers to make sure that those numbers match what I can afford, or that the property itself will be profitable after purchase at that purchase price. And then, so I'll go through 20, 30 complexes
Mm-hmm.
that it just doesn't work. Yes, I got they decided to sell, but the numbers are too high, inflated. Current interest rates on loans are super high. So I have to find that perfect one. And that's a goal. That's an achievement once you find that perfect one. And once I close that deal, that all the mental planning and work and strategizing to get to that deal, then I got the deal. Now I have to put a strategy in place of how do I take this deal, close it, and then make this property profitable. And the people that lend me the money, whether it's a bank or friends or wherever I get the money from to buy the property, how do I get them paid back or paid off regularly? Make sure my investors are happy. And so the mental aspect of that really helps with the honing of my skills and keeping that happiness, knowing, all right, today I got to wake up and do X. And on the days that I
Mm-hmm.
don't wake up and work on those goals, I can feel it in my soul. It's like, oh, God, I'm letting myself down. And so if it's, and that's, so the happiness when I achieve something or I'm working towards something that really helps mentally.
Mm-hmm. So, what is the mindset you wake up with?
Um, let's get it done. I guess that's my best mindset. It's I've been a hard worker. I am a morning worker. I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy it. So on days I don't coach or I still wake up early. I get up 5 6 a.m. every day and I start working. And I have about till noon that my brain works.
Uh-huh.
After noon, my brain shuts down, and that's when I go lift.
Mm-hmm.
And then because the physical, that's when I can handle the physical part. But I only have a couple hours in the morning of really intense focus, and then I have to shift gears to the
Mm-hmm.
physical, and then from there I can relax. So my day is really broken up into mental, physical, or mental goals for the first half, and then physical, and then relaxation. And relaxation,
Mm-hmm.
well, it's very underrated in the level of happiness. Um,
Yes.
you, in order to fully relax, again, you have to work. You have to have some hard work in your life. If every day is relaxing, it becomes you. Depression starts to set in.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, last summer, I was financially at the best place I've ever been in my life. I said, you know what? I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
take the summer off from no goals. I'm gonna work out just to maintain, but I'm not gonna compete. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna live the best summer I can live. I golfed almost every day. But I ended up eating a lot, drinking a lot, gained 20 pounds.
Oh.
And in January came around, I was still doing it. I was like, I couldn't get myself out of that extended mode. And it was leading into depression until finally a friend of mine is like, hey, come join this mastermind group with me. It's going to refresh your mind. You're going
Mm-hmm.
to get a group of like-minded individuals, and they're going to spark that fire in you to start working again. And oh
Mm-hmm.
my God, it was so perfect. That's exactly what I needed. I went to our first mastermind meeting, and after that I was like, I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. And so that the little bit of depression I was in last year went away
Mm-hmm.
because now I had goals. I was like, all right, I got to buckle down, get my gym business in line, get that working optimized. And then from there, then I can get back to the real estate. So this year is all 100% been dedicated on building my gym business to be the
Mm-hmm.
best I could possibly do, increasing my monthly gross revenue by $10,000 is a goal I set in January. And I'm at about 7,000 a month now. So I got about 3,000 more to go in the next 3 months, which I think I started some new campaigns and some stuff. And so we'll get that. But that's watching this and having the intensity to work on that makes the rest of my life much happier. It's not the money that makes me happier. It's
Mm-hmm.
the seeing the results. I'm putting in the time, and I'm reaping the rewards, and happiness comes from that.
Mm-hmm. Reaching those goals.
Yeah,
For me, reaching the goals is what brings me my happiness as well.
yeah.
Same way. And before, when you talked about your schedule as well, I think it's really important for men and a woman as well, but we talk about men, to know yourself. Like you said,
Yeah,
you know that your peak mental hours are those early hours. Just for you to know that is already a big deal.
yeah,
You know when when what times in a day you're good at something and you apply it.
yeah,
That's really valuable knowledge.
yeah. It definitely helps a lot, and not everybody's that way. My son is the exact opposite. He likes to he's got his own drywall business, and he likes to work all day, and then at night before bed, that's when he does all his mental billing and all that stuff, and is
Hmm.
trying to do his marketing and working on his business. He's a night thinker, and I'm like, man, at night I'm done.
Yeah.
I can't even think.
Hmm. Uh-huh. And
So
that's important for people to know what is for them and do it in their schedule, not try
yeah,
to follow somebody else's schedule, but know, like, okay, I know I'm good at the morning. I'll do it in the morning. Oh, I know I'm good at the evening time. So I'll do that in the evening time.
yeah, 100%.
So that's the thing. And one thing as well, I wanted to point out when you were saying you took the summer off, because people, I see one thing with people think like when a lot of people try to have everything calm all the time, and that's, I don't think that creates happiness. That
No, it
just
does not.
creates just like no motion or anything. That's why I like, okay, there's meditations and all this calming down thing, but I also like those moments. I do dancing.
Okay.
And then that's where I get my like endorphins and all this, like up
Hmm.
high and like loud music and dancing around. Like I don't like organized dancing. Like
Okay.
when I have to follow steps, I can do it somewhat, but I'm not really good. I do free dance,
Okay.
so where I just go and dance. But that gets my energy going and it gets like high vibes and everything. And I think we need that kind of positive highs, so we don't go for looking for negative highs, which is like we get angry or frustrated, because we need some kind of high, like you having the workout, there's a, we need some kind of highs all the
Yes.
time.
Yep. Definitely. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Every day you should look for something that makes you happy. If you
Mm-hmm.
do a little something that makes you happy, all the adversity coming your way, it doesn't even matter. It's because
Mm-hmm.
you're doing things that make you happy on one level, and then you work on those things that don't make you happy. But as long as you
Mm-hmm.
have that little bit of happiness in something, you'll be a much better person.
Mm-hmm.
Whether
And
it's just
I
getting crazy dancing. I mean, I want to see a video of this. Is there a video on your YouTube channel so I can go watch your crazy loud music free
I
dancing?
actually I actually don't have, it's not a crazy, I can do crazy dancing as well, but
Oh,
I'm trying to promote one thing that's just like dance walking. So
okay.
there is on my YouTube channel, there is a little bit of my dance walking where we actually do go outside. Like I go outside and I'm right now, I live in Florida. So right now it's too hot, but as it gets colder again, we're going to go and do dance walking again. And we walk, but we more have like dance movements is in as well. So I have
Is
one
that like
video of that in
prancercising?
YouTube. Oh,
Have you heard of prancercising?
no.
Okay, so you can YouTube that. There's a lady a couple years ago. That's what she did, and she had a whole course and stuff on dance walking. And it was called
Hmm.
prancercising.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And I have other people who are like walking the same walking trails, but I have people who walking there and they're walking with really mad and serious faces.
yeah. Well,
And then, yeah,
go ahead. Sorry.
and then they see us going through and they're just like dancing and having fun, and they like look at us with just like, you have way too much fun, or you having much more fun than we're doing.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. I was gonna say I was walking through the airport the other day, and it really dawned on me. There's so many people that just look so unhappy all the time. And
mm-hmm,
now in the airport, you're waiting there for your plane, and there's TSA and all that stuff. But you can really see how much unhappiness in this world there is, and it's sad. It's heartbreaking that there's not enough
mm-hmm,
happy people. There's not.
mm-hmm.
We. I don't know. it really hurts to see how much but there's no hope anymore. I think we've lost the hope of happiness almost. I don't know. It's crazy, but it's
That's
very
why
sad.
that's what I'm teaching. Yeah, that's why, because I'm actually born with a happy mindset.
Me
I'm
too.
lucky like that.
Yes.
But I noticed other people are, for them it doesn't come so easy. So that's why I learned how to teach it. I learned all the different modalities and ways to teach the other feel that and be the same way. And there's ways to uh, be more happy.
Oh, definitely.
There's all kinds, and the main thing is to know what happiness is as
Yes.
well. Not think that it's something like, oh, I'm never gonna feel any other feelings or never gonna have any problems. No, you just have like a good mindset where you can go through all those other feelings and situations in your life easier.
Yep. 100%. And
Mm-hmm.
thankfully, I'm in a business that I can teach people how to find happiness through fitness. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's about the range of my ability to get
Mm-hmm.
people to find happiness. But at least I feel, I'm making a difference in my community with creating much happier people.
Yes,
And
you are. Mm-hmm.
and it's because it's weird, because I'm in the gym all day long, and everybody I work with is happy and fit. It's so weird, for me to go to like a mall or something and see all the unfit people and all the
Mm-hmm.
unhappy people. It's like, oh, I got to get out more because I spent, I
Mm-hmm.
spent I spent 16 hours a day at the gym working or whatever. I'm around fit people, or I'm getting people fit, people that are motivated to get fit. So it's um, so for me, it's that part of my life. It's really easy to find happiness because I'm around so many happy people, and I make so many people happy serving them in my community.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And I think with your saying that building your temple, do you mean building your temple as like just the body or more?
No, mental, spiritual, and there's more to just the physical. You have to. The physical is a good starting point because you can go in and somebody can just tell you, but you also need you know a counselor or a church. I hit a um, in 2005, I lost everything, and I was in a very sad, depressed state. And I still had fitness. I still worked out every day, but it wasn't getting the job done at that point. In my life prior to that, I was able to overcome all adversity I've ever faced. And this deep depression, I didn't know how to get out of it. And thankfully, my little brother took me to a church and started counseling with one of the pastors there. And and that being able to talk to him and finding that hope in Christ, for me, finding that hope in Christ was the best thing I could at the time to raise me up out of that depression. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where building your temple came from, is because I realized, yeah, I was physically strong, but I didn't have the mental capacity to heal my own depression, and I needed
Mm-hmm.
an outlet, and I needed and uh giving myself and my life over to Christ was the best thing that I could do. And then that's why I spent, after that, 14 years doing the missionary work with Stand Strength Team, going to schools, talking to kids about the power of positive choice and how we can make a difference in our community. And then we invite them back to a local church, and we'd use feats of strength to minister the gospel to them and change the community forever. And it was awesome. And so that building your temple, is 100%. It's physical and spiritual, and that spiritual will help with the mental. The physical and spiritual help with the mental aspect of happiness.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to have hope. If you don't have hope, where do your happiness come from?
Mm-hmm.
What's what are you living for? What are you doing life for if there's no hope of like God's grace or mercy? In my case, I don't know your personal beliefs, but for me, to know that one day I'll be sitting in heaven with Jesus Christ makes me happy. And I know
Mm-hmm.
that no matter what happens on this earth, it doesn't matter. Nothing here can hurt me until then when I'm in heaven. So
Hmm. Well, I wanted to point out one thing as well. With people, maybe somebody is watching and having depression or something like that, or their friend or somebody. Depression is something you don't have to deal with alone.
No, no,
Never.
it, it, you'll never fix true depression on your own.
Hmm.
It's you have to reach out. You have to take steps to make yourself better. And that's the hardest part of being in depression is if nobody recognizes it, nobody's going to pull you out of it. And I was just didn't know where to turn, so I just go lift weights, go lift weights, go lift weights, and it just wasn't fixing that spiritual aspect of my life that I needed until my little
Hmm.
brother's like, "Hey, come with me." And
Hmm.
if you see anybody that you think is depressed or they're all of a sudden their attitude has changed and they're just not the same person any longer, reach out, bring them
Hmm.
along somewhere, take them to something that's uplifting and try,
Hmm.
but you have it's as people, we have to recognize that. And that's hard to recognize because somebody that's depressed isn't going to tell you they're depressed. You have to recognize it and help pull them out of that depression.
Hmm. And now it's more acceptable for that person to reach out. So if somebody is watching and try to reach out, I know, like you were saying, it's not common that they are doing it, but to tell them that it is okay to reach out and ask for help because there's all those people around you.
Hmm.
There is probably not just one, but several people who would love to help you.
Yeah, I'm very thankful that culture for men has changed.
Mm-hmm.
For years, the men it was looked as like such weakness if you couldn't handle your problems on your own, and that was a detriment to many men's lives. Thankfully, that culture has changed, and now it's 100% acceptable to reach out to people. I have men reach out to me all the time because they see my life and they
Mm-hmm.
want to know how to become happy. And I mentor a lot of men via through online, like Facebook or in person. I help mentor men and help them uh, fix their lives and find what's
Mm-hmm.
broken that's causing that depression and working through it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's important. That's really cool. Okay. Before we're gonna start closing out with my closing questions and everything, let's talk about your business as well. I'm gonna put your
Okay.
business website in the bottom for everyone to look at, and definitely all the viewers definitely read the description because it tells all the cool things what Brian has done. But I'll put this here, and I'll let you talk about your business as well.
All right. So my in-person business, I have a 24-hour gym and a CrossFit gym where we run unlimited classes. And if you're in the Oxford, Lake Orion area, Michigan, we'd love to have you come out. But I just recently wrote my first book. It's called the
Mm-hmm.
BYT Method. It's basically took my 25 years of personal training and group fitness instruction. I created a book where I felt that that was missing in the space of fitness books. And this book basically will teach you how to work out, how to set up your workout, what exercises complement each other. The biggest problem with most fitness routines is they have or gym people, they go to the gym, they do bench press on Monday, they do back on Tuesday, they'll take Wednesday off, they do legs on Thursday. They have the same routine week after week, and they never see any progress. They never have any fun with their workouts because they're not changing anything up. And that's where my book every Monday is it starts with a different workout, and um, and each week you have different lifts, and so you're not getting into that same repetitive uh, culture that doesn't lead to gains, as we call it in the gym industry. You want to make gains, whether you're getting leaner, you're getting more muscle, you're getting stronger, you're getting faster, whatever your gains are, that metric that you're measuring. So with my book, it allows you to program your 8-week cycle, and you're not going to do the same thing or the same movement over and over and over again. You're going to cycle through these movements and their accessories, and it just makes things a lot more fun. I call it's consistently varied. Where like big thing for CrossFit, my CrossFit gym is CrossFit methodology calls for constantly varied, where it's always ever changing. But that's also hard to make gains because we still need structure in our lives. So consistently varied is I created that structure. And then now with the book, I also am launching my online training program that the link will be on the website soon. We're working on our commercials and advertising for that right now. But it'll be an online training support system where we do weekly Zooms, unlimited questions, private Facebook group, where you come in and you can ask any questions you want about the workouts that week. Every Sunday, the workouts are put in. You'll have your choice of CrossFit style workouts or basic gym style workouts, depending on what you have available. So there's two different paths, but both you will achieve great goals and have great success with.
Mm-hmm.
So
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Look, that will be great as well. Like, workout is so important. All the things. Okay. And I asked this question from all my guests on all across all the different shows that I'm doing. I'm asking this question all the time. For you, Brian, just specifically for you, not for what other people think happiness is. What is happiness for you?
accomplishments. And when I accomplish something, I find happiness. If I'm not working towards something, my life, I don't have that happiness that I crave. I have to always be moving forward, always looking forward, always trying to make my life better, whether it's for me, for my kids, or my community. I'm always trying to make life better for those around me.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And then name about maybe three things that items or specific activities, something really simple, can be a thing or activity, but really specific, everyday simple thing that makes you feel happy for like maybe just for that moment, but brings out the feeling of happiness in you.
Hmm. That's a three things. That's a tough one. You didn't write that in your questions that you sent me. I'll have to think about that for a second. So, things that bring me daily joy is sticking to my meal regimen. Planning because every when I wake up, I I wake up, go to the gym, coach a couple classes, come home, then I eat breakfast and I pack my lunches for the day. And when I pack everything I have, when I have everything pre-made or pre-cooked and all set up, and I can put everything together, that makes me happy because I know
Mm-hmm.
I'm not thinking in the back of my head, oh crap, where am I going to go grab some food? I have to go down to some restaurant or some fast food place and eat, try and find something healthy. And so having processes, fulfilling my process that I have every day, that makes me happy. Spending time working on my business,
Mm-hmm.
um, and how goal setting in my business or achieving those goals. That's a daily thing that I like to work on. That makes me happy. Makes me feel
Mm-hmm.
accomplished. And then a good lifting session. Obviously, that you know being at
Mm-hmm.
the gym and lifting some heavy weights that's makes me happy. So those
Mm-hmm.
would be my three things.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Everybody, the reason I asked that question because everybody has to know that those things that you're doing, and you might be thinking that that's just everyday things that I'm doing, and there's nothing to it. But those little things everyday things that make you feel good or content, those are the things that building your happy life.
Yep, 100%.
Those little things that you feel good. Okay, so set up the way it is. Now I feel good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So cool. Thank you, Brian. We have got a lot of good information, a lot of good things out for the men to think about. But let's close off with maybe you have some last words for the viewers, for the men, just
Last words, huh?
specifically
Um,
happiness.
I just think that if you're struggling to find happiness, first thing I would do is set some reasonable goals that you can achieve in a 30-day, 90-day, 180-day process. Write them out and start working towards them. Because as you start to accomplish those little tasks, those little goals, it could be as dumb as every morning I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna go outside and walk for 5 minutes, or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. But just little goals that start off that are achievable. In the first 30 days, and then at 90 days, like I'm gonna spend 10 minutes a day outside walking.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be physical. It can be other mental things too. I'm just something that relates to me in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But those little goals, once you set them and you work on them every day and you get them, that's how we start to build that discipline. And happiness comes with discipline. Being disciplined in our life, we need that uh, um, those certain things, that accomplishments every day for us to be happy. So that's set goals and work towards them and actually accomplish them is the first step I would take if you're not happy.
Mm-hmm.
And the
I
happiness
like
will
it.
follow.
Mm-hmm. I like it. And for the viewers, that's gonna be your assignment to do for after this show, to write out your goals.
Nice.
Make a list of your goals for day, week, a year.
Yep.
So,
And
and
start
yep.
little. Start little. Start with little accomplishable goals that once you accomplish the little ones, then you can make them bigger and harder and more task orientated, but start little.
Mm-hmm. Great. Okay. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And for the viewers, don't just think like, oh, okay, I watched this show and now the day goes over and everything's going to be the same, because if that's the mentality, then everything is going to be the same. So make that list today. Even if it's late at night, you can still write down a few things.
Yep. If you don't make any
And
changes,
then,
nothing changes.
exactly. So thank you, Brian, and
Thank
thank you
you.
for all the viewers. And enjoy your day. Thank you. Bye.